Yo, it's the Ponder Podcast. This is LP and CJ. And today is September 27th, 2022. And here we go.
Oh, that was nice. that was nice. All right, first thing I want to say is that we have our podcast on Spotify, Anchor, Apple, Google Podcasts, and YouTube. Now, all the other ones are podcasts, so you can listen to it, but on YouTube, you can actually look at the pictures, the videos, and it has the links to all of the sources that we have brought up for the podcast. So just the FYI. The first thing we're going to talk about is the news.
Yeah.
Now, remember the other day we were talking about how the Russians were being drafted now?
Yep. Crazy.
Well, guess what?
What?
This Russian soldier was mobilized, and 3 days later, he was captured.
Oh, man. Got him.
You know that man turned himself in. He ain't want to
Right.
be a day. They didn't want to do this, did he? Look, he got his papers. He got his, he got his birth certificate. Why do he got his birth certificate? His ID,
Man, that's ridiculous.
passport. That man ready to become a Ukrainian citizen.
Wow. Man.
And he not the only one either. There's some other ones too, but this was one that I found.
Man, that's crazy.
Get that man a medal.
Yeah.
Cause
He like, I ain't on this mess no more.
it was 3 days. He was like, I'm hungry. Like, what the hell going on? I ain't want to come out here anyway. But see, this is what happened when you threaten people to go to jail. You threaten people with jail and telling them that they got to spend 10 years in jail. This is what's going to happen.
Yep.
Look at him. Okay. This next story is about Jeffrey Moore that was appointed by Governor DeSantis in July to be the Gadson County Commissioner. His post was in Florida's only predominantly black county. A photo started circulating in the local community of him wearing a KKK robe and hood at a party.
I don't think that's going to happen now.
So he resigned abruptly soon after the photo began circulating in the community.
That's sad.
Black people was like, what?
No, we ain't doing that.
We are doing that. So the county religious leaders want the governor to start, they want him to address the allegations basically, because he haven't said nothing about it yet.
That's why, folks, you got to watch what you put online. You got to watch what you got out here with these pictures and posts. And
It looked like it was a Halloween party because they got the little skeleton creature up here.
It is, but it don't even matter.
Yeah,
it don't even matter.
That's not appropriate.
Right. Man.
That was funny to me. Now, this story, this was Channel 19 Action News. All right, this man found a pedestrian on the roof of his SUV after he drove to work.
Well,
Man.
he clammed up there, right?
No,
Or was he up there the whole time?
This man, while he was driving to work, and it drug him all the way from wherever he had him at to work, and then said he found him there once he got to work. The man died, by the way.
Oh man! So he done hit somebody on the way to work,
and he didn't know it. That's what he said.
Somebody been drinking.
They said he discovered the pedestrian's body on the roof of the SUV when he got to work. The man was pronounced dead by 8 a.m. on Friday morning. His identity was not disclosed, and authorities said the crash was an accident. So I guess they're not going to arrest the man. They didn't say how old this man either. I mean, if he like in his 20s, the 50s, then no, dog, something wrong. But if you like 70 and you driving around, okay, I might believe that.
You know, if you 80, 90 driving, you don't need to be driving anyway. So,
but I'm saying that it's more believable.
But you didn't feel that bump. You didn't hear nothing. Well, you don't need to be driving if you can't feel or hear nothing.
Somebody said, was he deaf and blind when he
That's
was
what
driving?
I said. No.
Well, ain't that crazy? Moving on to the Wacky Florida.
Right.
Wacky Florida. Do, 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 do.
All right.
All right. You know they doing they evacuating for the hurricane and stuff now, right?
Yeah, big hurricane.
Why Publix? You know, Publix is like one of these grocery stores or store down there or whatever.
Yeah.
They started making these hurricane cakes.
Oh man, come on.
So look, this one cake got on here, leave Florida alone. And they got a picture of a hurricane like right there. And then these other ones got the hurricane. So it's like red, like in the eye of the storm, and then yellow and then green going towards the outside of the cake.
I bet you they selling too.
And then they got on the side, go away. Do they think the hurricane gonna leave?
Nah, but I bet you those cakes selling.
I wouldn't be worrying about these damn cakes when I'm trying to evacuate. Okay, I don't fuck them cakes. But it's just funny, like, that's funny. Look, this person said, told my sister to stop at Publix to get one. She called me from there and said the staff were saying no, we don't sell them anymore because it's insensitive.
It kind of is.
We were told the same thing today. Look, they was trying to get out there then. That's so funny. They were insensitive. Probably somebody told on them, but look, somebody tried it. So,
Man.
all right, this happened in Florida too. I'm not even surprised. So you know, I've been watching a lot of videos on YouTube about homeless people because they're young. And so what I found is that a lot of people go down to Florida to get away from, like, say their home state because they need to go to a different place to do rehab, so they're not in the same environment. So they go down to Florida, and then they become homeless addicts on more like worse drugs. Because a lot of them, especially if they're away too far, if they're far away from home and they're in a population that's around them that's doing that type of stuff, sometimes they leave against medical advice, or they might leave voluntarily, leave therapy, and then they're out there in the streets that's around it. And the first thing they're gonna do is be homeless, and they're gonna find somebody who has these drugs. So anyway, the dope head went to Walgreens and he presented this Percocet coupon. This coupon said, buy one Gatorade 20 fluid ounce bottle, get 3 Percocet 30 milligrams for free.
Man.
All right, so it's not real, of course,
Right.
but the person who took it to Walgreens, he thought it was real.
Man, you're not as smart as fuck.
Can you imagine being a pharmacist and they walk up to you like, can I get my 3 Percocet? Here go my Gatorade bottle. Can I get my 3 Percocet, please?
Man, you actually believe it.
When you ain't got no money, you gonna try to do whatever you need to do, right?
Yeah, I want to know who printed that out.
Somebody who probably tricked their ass.
Hey man, I got this coupon for some free perks.
Somebody was like, hey man, you know, I do this for me and I give you this coupon.
Yeah, I'll give you 5 of them. You probably
Hook me up real quick and then I'll give you this so you can get the Percocet at the pharmacy. For real? All right, I'll do it for you. Okay.
That's sad.
Yeah, it is sad, but
Man.
that coupon is funny. The situation is sad that they even thought that this was real. It just shows how desperate they are. They got an expiration date on there, everything. Like, they giving out Percocet coupons down in Florida.
Expires on the 32nd. What?
It say 8/5/2023. Wait a minute. That means it's expired now. An in-store coupon. Wow. All right. This one crazy too. This happened in Jacksonville, Florida. A second grader was instructed to send pictures of you doing reading homework in the bathtub, parents say.
No, that's some pervert. Some pervert ass teacher.
You be surprised. You're gonna be surprised when we get done with this. So.
Come on, man. What is this world coming to? A hot bowl of mess. Bathtub homework assignment.
Victory Christian Academy. Number 1 was practice Psalm 24, 1 through 2 with an adult 3 times. Wow. Okay. I mean, I know it's a Christian school, but what is it? I'm not about to do that. I'm about to do that with you. Okay. You send a picture of you reading homework in the bathtub. So this one parent thought that was weird. She was like, she wrote on here, so Mackenzie will not be taking pictures in the bathtub. We do not condone in taking pictures in the bathroom.
Right.
Now, I want to say they had one picture where I seen online, because they was literally arguing about this, like the Florida residents. So let me tell you what the school did. The teacher said that they didn't mean to do anything. Like, they could be in their pajamas or in their uniform and have fun with it.
No.
That's what they told her.
No.
So she reached out to the school and then later to the sheriff's office to document the incident. In a police report obtained by Action News Jax, it states parents were told by administrators, "We have been sending this homework assignment for years and you're the only one complaining about it."
Well, they are some damn freaks.
Police advised the parents not to take the photo. Later, the Dunham family said they got a call from the school. He said, probably a principal or somebody, said, "I think you guys should do a parental withdrawal for the child." And the parent said, I can't do that. We refuse to withdraw her. And he said, "Okay, thank you for saying that." And continued on saying, "We will proceed with an administrative withdrawal." So documentation from the school indicates their daughter is no longer a student at Victory Christian Academy. No explanation. The family believes that this sends a wrong message.
Yeah, dude.
So they kicked her out of school, and then later they did a statement basically saying that the assignment was taken out of an online resource and that the teacher sent out the correspondence to all parents saying that there were no bad intentions. While the assignment was completely innocent, out of an abundance of caution and for there to be no misunderstandings, our administration has removed this particular assignment for any future use. We value our children and their safety is our top priority. Not only did you kick her out of school, you took it down anyway.
After you kicked her out.
They not letting her back in. So that, to me, is just showing that you're guilty.
You're guilty all day. Man,
For a second grader.
Wow. What are you trying to see some second graders naked? That's what it looked like. That's what it sounded like to me.
So the problem was, because they're saying that they done it before and all of that and it seemed innocent. But my thing is, it wasn't explicitly defined in there what to do with the tub. It just said, send a picture of you reading homework in the tub. It didn't say have clothes on or not have clothes on, wear pajamas. Most people are not going to put their kids like in clothes in a dry tub. Like that doesn't, it's just not the setting for that.
Right.
So it doesn't make sense to me.
Terrible. That school need to close down.
Hey, if it was me, I wouldn't want my child going to that school anyway, but I don't know how close that school is. You know, Florida, depending on where they at, they could be in the boondocks somewhere. So I don't know how, far the next school is that she has to go to, but I wouldn't want my child going to that school either.
Nope.
First off, I wouldn't even be living in Florida, so that's me.
Crazy. Terrible situation.
I was seeing you up there.
Nope, not me. Ain't going no Florida.
No, I'm saying if we were living there and you was the dad, the father, I was seeing you up there. You talk to the principal. What you gonna do?
Yeah, I would have talked to him, but then they would have been trying to take me to jail. I would have been. They would show my black ass on TV in handcuffs in Florida. They had a mug shot on TV and everything.
Let me go bail my baby out of jail.
Terrible.
All right, entertainment. You know Ryan Reynolds, the one who played Deadpool, right?
Yeah.
He did a tweet doing a teaser about his upcoming movie in Deadpool. Now, it's kind of long, so I don't want to go through the whole thing, but he just basically talked about nothing for a few minutes, and then he was like, I have nothing. And then Hugh Jackman, who plays Wolverine, walked up the stairs behind him. He said, "Hey, Hugh, you want to play Wolverine in the next Deadpool?" He's like, "Sure, why not?"
Well, hey,
So that's what's going down.
probably come out in 2 years from now.
They got 2024, yep, 2 years.
Oh, man.
So Deadpool 3 will be bringing Hugh Jackman in back in Wolverine. Remember didn't he die in the last episode he did with that little girl?
I don't think I ever watched
the one with the little girl Wolverine.
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, somehow I can't remember. I have to watch it again, but yeah. So that movie will come out in 2024, and Marvel also planned for other releases for the MCU Marvel Universe Phase 6. So they got the Fantastic Four coming out in November 2024. They have the Avengers Kang Dynasty coming out, and then after that, Avengers Secret Wars. So all of these are coming out probably end of 2024, going into 2025.
It's a nice little while from now. It's a nice little time from now. It's only
I know. Why they want to tell us now and then
a long time.
Yeah.
They probably haven't even started filming yet. Man.
Right. For our finance, what I want to talk about is the stock market and their losses.
Stock market looking like shit right now.
It is.
Stock market is trash right now. Straight bookie doo.
What's that?
Bookie doo. That's what the stock market is right now. AMC, GMC, ABC,
GME,
ABCD, EFG, all of it. It's bookie doo.
So they said the stock market losses wiped out $9 trillion from Americans' wealth. This is from an article from CNBC today at around 1 p.m.
You said 9 trillion.
Trillion.
Wow.
Not billion, trillion.
That's what they want though.
I don't think they want it. It just killed me because the greedy people, they are so greedy, and then when our stock market and our economy fails, it's like, oh shoot, we got what's going on? We gotta do something about it. We all caused it with all the greed and overspending, and our government too. They're complicit as well. So,
but they shorting stocks too though. We didn't cause that. They did that.
Yeah, they did that. But see, that's the thing about short hedge funds. When they short these companies out of business, the companies like AMC is a company that, first off, let's go back. Bed Bath & Beyond. What were some other companies that was?
GameStop.
GameStop, AMC, Bed Bath & Beyond. Toys R Us was one. They actually successfully kicked out of business.
Toys R Us.
But so what it is that they see the company going out of business, and they basically bet that it's going down. So they borrow shares from the broker, they sell them into the market, people buy them, and they just keep selling and selling and selling, and that makes the price go down. And so it gets to a point where the price is under $1, and then the company has to go bankrupt. Sears, it happened to Sears too. So the company has to go bankrupt, and so the company loses what? The employees loses jobs. They lose their pensions and all that stuff. So it's really bad for the economy for them to do this type of stuff. So, but that's about short hedge funds. What I want to talk about is that if you are holding stocks and mutual funds, your portfolio is going to be down, including your retirement funds, because all of this stuff is kind of like in the stock market. So the losses are down like $42 trillion since January. The economist saying that this will put more pressure on family balance sheets, spending, borrowing, and investing. So your balance sheets, you're going to have to cut your budgets. Spending, you're going to have to cut the spending.
Cut that McDonald's out.
Borrowing, you won't be able to borrow, especially if you are, and if you're using a lot of credit cards, or your interest rates could be high from that, or from your credit report, things like that. And investing, people can't invest if, they don't have any money to invest. So that's another thing. They can't save either. So one thing that makes me feel good about this is that the wealthy are losing the most since they own the majority of these equities, which are our stocks and stuff. The top 10% lost over $8 trillion.
Don't talk about the wealthy. I'm trying to be wealthy like that too.
Well, hopefully if we become wealthy, we are not acting like how they're acting.
Yeah, I'm trying to get wealthy. I need at least over 10 million. At least over 10 million.
But $8 trillion losses, it was equivalent to a 22% decline in their stock market wealth. And that's according to the Federal Reserve Bank. The top 1%, them greedy bastards, They have lost over $5 trillion in the stock market. So all of them together, they lost a good amount of money. But don't feel bad because guess where they made money off of us during the pandemic?
You say plan or
the pandemic.
Pandemic?
You don't think they planned it?
Oh, yeah.
Right. It's the pandemic. They made a lot of money during that, making people go home and not work and all of that stuff. So they basically losing that money back. So that's all it is. Now, in May of 2022, they did a bill. This is, I want to say in the House of Representatives. They did a bill that's requiring these people to disclose their contracts on how private equity firms and hedge fund managers manage workers' pension funds, because they're funneling money from the pension funds of government workers like teachers, firefighters, first responders, and other government workers. So they basically stealing their pension funds. So when the stock market start going down and they need money to save it, they kind of secretly say, hey, can we borrow the government's money, those pension funds? Because the pension funds got a lot of money in it. So they say, hey, can we borrow some of that? And they may or may not pay it back. Depends on if they lose it or not. It's all gambling.
They're not going to pay it back.
They probably won't. But they've been doing it for a couple of decades now. And so what they do is get these pension funds and they put them in these high risk, high fee investments. So they pay high fees. The employers are paying high fees for them to kind of flip their money for them. But then they underperform in the market. Right. So, okay, you got to pay high fees. And then instead of them giving you, say, 7% return on the year, they giving you -3 or something like that. Like, you making me lose money and I got to pay fees on it too? So the bill will allow legislators to review these contracts, and it will allow the pension holders to see what's happening to their pension funds. So it just provides some transparency. So I'm pretty sure they're probably fighting about that now. And another reason they're concerned about this is because Wallstreet, they feel like they're eluding investors. So these private equity investors, they're affecting the healthcare system by buying up doctors' offices. They cut costs. So this has been happening a lot recently, especially with small doctors' offices and like a nursing home, LTACs, like long-term nursing facilities. They cut the costs, which affects the quality of healthcare. And let me see. Let me show what they got on here. Americans for Financial Reform. This is a group, maybe a nonprofit group that's co-sponsoring this bill. And they're saying that they buy up companies, loot their assets, take profits, and declare bankruptcy. And this is literally killing people. Nursing home residents and facilities owned by private equity firms have a 10% higher mortality rate than people in other facilities, resulting in 20,000 deaths over a 12-year period. And they own group homes too. Group homes. Let's see. For one example, staff at those homes withheld over 1,000 medication doses when the KKR-owned pharmacy ran out.
Got a problem there.
Yeah, so they saying that they want to close up these tax loopholes, stop the looting, and make these private equity executives legally liable for the damages that they cause. So just something for y'all to pay attention to, because I mean, if you think about it, at the hospital we have like a lot of people that go to like these facilities and they don't treat them the same like they do in the hospital. They treat them way differently, or that they overstaff. Like a lot of nurses have been complaining about, going to the nursing home saying, hey, they trying to give me 42 patients tonight. Like that's almost double. I think it's like 20, maybe they might have 20 residents. But if you don't have no like a nursing aide and you got to pass all the meds and somebody gonna get missed out.
A whole lot gonna get missed out.
Like you might have residents sitting in they poop or pee for a long period of time, or they might end up dead. They come in and walk in their room and they passed away. It's like how long they been here, because they don't have enough staff to cover all of it. They being greedy.
Man, they taking that moolah doula.
Yeah, and it seems like it's happening in the hospitals too. It just seems like it's a for-profit thing now. Like it's all about making money and trying to get shortcuts. They want workers to work harder and have less resources.
I think people forget that hospitals are a business first. It's a business first, then you.
Some worse than others, I would say.
Yeah, right.
Some worse than others. But yeah, that's what I'll have to say for the finance segment here, because I just felt like people need to know a little bit about what's going on in the stock market.
Yes, indeed.
Now we're gonna talk about your topic here.
What we talking about? What's that?
About treating people with respect at work. See how these bosses be out here treating people crazy. They're thinking they still gonna want to work with them. Let me give one example. Remember I was telling you about that worker that worked at the hospital with us or with me, and he worked PRN.
Yeah.
And they kept trying to make him work every day. PRN is like you work as needed. So maybe you might do 2 shifts per schedule or something like that. So he had to go on vacation. Now he don't have to pick up. He put out the days that he wanted. They might have the minimum days that he has to work, but he don't have to work every day. So mind you, he was working every day. They tricked him into working a full-time job while he was PRN.
He ain't tricked him. He was uneducated. He didn't know. That was his fault.
And he wasn't getting benefits while he was doing this.
You don't get benefits when
you work PRN. Yeah. So he was trying to go on vacation. And so he said he was submitting his request. Now, if you PRN, all you have to do is just not sign up for those days. But he went to the boss and was like, I want to go on vacation. And guess what they told him? You can't go on vacation. We still need you. So he canceled his flight. For nothing.
Not me.
He canceled his flight and then missed his vacation. I was like, wow. Like, dude, you ain't have to work. So it was just amazing to me because I was just like, yo, supervisors really let you do that? Like, they really didn't, they let you do that?
They not gonna tell you nothing. They go see what they can get away with you. They go see what they can get away with you. That's what they do. They think they stupid. A lot of them are stupid because that couldn't have been me in that situation. I'm not gonna be PRing and you go tell me I can't have a day off. No, I'm gonna come in when I'm available.
Right, that's what it's supposed to be like.
Not when you tell me, I can't take. No, I see you when I see you. That's how it would be with me if I was PRing.
Well, normally, when I work PRN, they'll say what days you have available in this, schedule. And I'll give them my 2 or 3 days or whatever. You can work more days if you want, but you don't have to. And, a lot of people who work PRN have full-time jobs somewhere else.
Or they got full-time jobs or they in school.
Yeah. So it's not, they're not expected to work full-time.
So that PRN job is not that important to them. They just like, okay, I need some money on the side.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. But that's crazy.
But I don't know. I will say he was a black guy, so I don't know. But then the supervisors are black too.
They all was black and they played him because he didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
And that's how they do.
People need to know. Y'all need to know y'all workplace policies and stuff like that.
Yeah, you need to know your workplace.
Or understand the job. How about just understanding? You know what PRN is. You know you ain't got to work every day.
I think before people sign up for PRN, they need to look it up first before they decide to do it. Look up PRN job. Google it. But it'll tell you everything.
Guess what they did to him though? Because I told him, I'm like, you didn't have to do that. And I think once he started speaking up, because they wouldn't give him no time off. Now he worked every day, and he was a good worker. People complimented him, and he worked every day. They wouldn't give him time off. And I think once he started trying to speak up for himself, they ended up firing that man.
Well,
like, wow. That's
because they figured somebody had been talking to him. And he probably told him, yeah, old girl told me that I didn't have to come in. Yeah, she told me. What? They be like, who told you that? Get him out of here. They probably like, get him out of here. Get him out of here. He's talking to people. Get him out of here.
That was messed up.
So they used him up.
Yeah. So that's a segue into what you were talking about, where people are treating you, with your situation. You was talking about how an employer might change your job description or change your work hours without even saying anything to you.
Right. They do that. When you have a job that's not a career job, just a regular worker. They think they can replace you like, oh, well, okay, he's going, okay, we'll get a new guy tomorrow. And they treat you a certain way. They think you don't know nothing. They think you stupid.
A lot of them think maybe they think because their options are limited or something like that.
Well, some of them options are limited. They don't have education. They don't have a diploma or a GED or nothing. Well, of course, they go really
get over on them.
They gonna really get over on you. And what you go do? What you go quit and go to another job and they treat you the same way? Hey, so you gotta suck it up or get your education or do what you gotta do to get up out of that situation and stop complaining about it. Don't complain about it if you're not trying to move forward and get out of that situation.
Because you're gonna just end up miserable. But I mean, I can't even imagine working for somebody and I'm not getting no respect. They changing my work hours. Like, to me, when I have an interview, my interview is to check out that job too. Not just them interviewing me to see if I'm qualified. I'm interviewing them to see if they qualified to be my supervisor or my boss or my employer. You know, are they?
Yeah.
What you about to say?
They got me before. I was working part-time at the time, but I was working like I was full-time.
Where at?
At the hospital. I was working I was a part-time worker, but I was working full-time hours.
This was a while ago, huh?
This was when I first got in the hospital.
Yeah.
So I did it because I didn't have a job at the time. Well, you know, but after a while, I'm like, no, I'm good. And I switched over and got a full-time job with full-time hours. But this is what they do to people. If you don't know, this is what they do. And you know, when you a lot of jobs when you part-time, your benefits is more than if you was full-time.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, so people, you gotta do your research out here and stop letting these jobs play you. I'm not here to be played no more. Those days are over.
Well, I think it's kind of like a form of discrimination too, because I think they make assumptions on how. Well, it happened with employers too. Like other nurses, I might see how they treat maybe the EVS workers or something like that, looking down on them or treating them a certain way because of the job that they do, and I don't like that.
Yeah, they think they stupid, but some of them are stupid. If you talk to them,
but some of the nurses stupid too.
In their conversation,
some of the nurses might be stupid.
A lot of people.
They got stupid people at every job.
A whole lot of people at jobs are ignorant. They don't know
every job. I mean,
but I go based on that. I go based on how they talk, if they can talk, if they can turn it off, turn the hood on and off at the job.
I mean, I just feel like people should respect folks while they at work. You know, it shouldn't matter what color you are or how old you are, because some people do some age discrimination type stuff too.
Yeah, it shouldn't, but that's the way it is.
But at the same time, if somebody is not doing their job right, and these for the stupid people, if they're not doing their job right, I feel like they shouldn't be there.
Right.
You know, if you're not going to do your job to the point where you're affecting other people's work or other people have to pick up your slack all the time, then maybe you should find another job.
Yep, time to bounce. And stop complaining, because nothing is going to change.
you can, I mean, I don't know. I can't say that, because you can make a change in your job if it just depends on, I don't know, maybe this is some stuff that we learn in college and stuff, how to advocate for ourselves and how to, we learn a lot of stuff in college, like ethics. We learn about psychology and stuff like that. So you tend to think a little bit differently when you have a little bit more knowledge about stuff.
Right. It depends on your job title too. Yes.
You know, like some people get frustrated, and it's like you shouldn't get frustrated if you have a little bit of background in psychology. You would know that some people deal with certain things at home, and that's why they act the way they do. Like, I ain't getting frustrated at nobody. I'm just not gonna be around them.
Right. And I only hang around certain people anyway. So for me to even be cool with you, you have to think like I do. So I'm not gonna hang around somebody at a job that's ignorant and act a certain way. I'm gonna be like, oh no, okay, I can hang around you. Me and you not on the same level. So, but yeah, it's crazy.
All right, I'm gonna go on to the health segment. What I wanted to talk about is because I came across a post where someone asked if bariatric surgery would cause people to develop allergies, like 50 allergies, or were they that way before surgery? And then this person said, why are these patients such a pain in the ass? And I just told her that she need to look up post-bariatric surgeries like those allergies that they develop. Sometimes these people develop allergies because there's a disruption to the digestion process. So they're not able to digest foods the same way, and they have an immune response that causes them to have certain a response to different antigens in the diet. And so some can even progress to an anaphylactic reaction. So it is a thing. And I also told her that if she feels like these people are being a pain in the ass, like maybe you should do some research about the condition. If you work in GI or this is your field where you work with the stomach and stuff, you should do some research so you know about it instead of calling them a pain in the ass and try to figure out what you can do to help these people. Like, they're not always faking.
No, they're not faking.
Like, they develop a lot of allergies. Some of them do. They develop different allergies or intolerances. Like, they may not always be allergies, just may be intolerance to certain foods and stuff like that. So maybe they can't eat a certain color, or food coloring might affect them a different way, or some of them get that. Remember that they have all these gluten-free diets and stuff like that.
They've been eating something.
Yeah, or the celiac disease. Those are like gluten allergies.
I'm talking about as big as they are. They've been eating something. You've been eating something.
Well, we talking about after. Well, for them to go have the bariatric surgery, they actually have to get some type of psychiatric counseling. They have to get approved and go through a whole process. They have to actually lose some weight before they even do it to show the doctor that they can actually, have the mindset to move forward and do it.
Man, I used to see them all the time. I used to have to move those people.
After surgery, you mean?
Before, when they moved to the bed, I used to have to move them. And a lot of them be in pain, and it was crazy.
So that's all I have to say about that. I just wanted to say, for those type of patients, they just need, after they have surgery, they need to follow up with an allergist. And if they have an increased risk for an anaphylactic reaction, they should have like an EpiPen or something around so that they can treat themselves for that, so they don't die from it. Because anaphylactic shock could be lethal.
I was ignorant of her to put that on.
It is, but you'll be surprised. I see so much stuff on forums and stuff like that. It kind of make me mad, but I had to say something about it because I'm like an advocate at heart, and my thing is that shouldn't be your first response. Like, you should find out why. I mean, people do it with addicts too, and I don't like a drug addiction. I don't like what they do, but at the end of the day, I know it's a disease process. In the beginning, it's a choice. Like, they do make a choice to do it, but after they become addicts, they cannot help themselves. It changes their brains.
Yeah. It
literally changes the chemicals and all of that in your brain. So they can't. It's very hard for them to get off of it after that, because their body is basically tricked into thinking they need it more than food. So, but it takes someone to know about that disease process and studying. I mean, I actually took classes about addiction in college, when I was in nursing school. So I actually learned a little bit more about that, and I can understand it. I don't like it. I really don't, but I mean, I can understand it. And if I have patients that are like that, is what can I do to help them, basically. All right, so we moving on to our marriage and relationship segment. And what we're going to talk about is it true that there are no good men out here? Huh?
No, it's not true.
What do you as a man think about women who say that, like that train of thought? What is the thoughts that come to your mind?
Me as a man, those women are in the wrong environment, looking for men or dealing with men. They need to change their situation or change their surroundings.
Some of it could be how they were raised.
Because
Lord knows my perception about men was bad when I first. And it was only because my mother, I wasn't around men like that. My mom had 8 kids by 5 men, and none of them were around to be fathers. So I didn't know what male-woman interaction was supposed to be within a relationship, a healthy one at that. And I just didn't know what fathers were supposed to do or what were their roles and all of that. So I had no idea. So my perception of men when I got 18 was bad. It was just not good. So what about, have you ever dated somebody who felt that way? Or have you ever went on a date where somebody said that and you were just like, you backed out or something?
No.
How do you find this out before you start dating them then?
I'll talk to them a little bit on the phone, get to know them a little bit, and then if they get to talking crazy, or if I don't like some stuff they say, I just don't deal with them. I just disappear. But I never really dealt with anybody.
You disappear?
Yeah, I disappear. I never dealt with anybody that said no good men.
I know you put me on the trial when I first met him, talking about he had to get to know me and see how I think of stuff.
Oh yeah, of course. If I'm gonna be with you, I need to know how your mind click.
Let me tell y'all this story. Okay, so this was like the first night you spent the night or whatever. I think it was either the first or second night. Yeah, it had to been the first night. I wanted to do it. I was about to be a hooker that night, but he wouldn't do it, and I was mad because I was ready. He slept behind me, ain't did nothing. I was mad.
Yeah.
Talking about he got to get to know me. What?
I can control myself.
I'm up here. You know, you took your butt out.
I think I gave her a massage too that night.
I was like, are you kidding me? I was ready to go.
Nope, I had to wait.
Made me wait another day.
Yep.
Like, that's messed up.
There's only one more day.
Yeah, okay.
You'd be all right.
But yeah. So my thing is, I feel like it's a self-fulfilling prophecy when a woman think like that. If women need to look at it like, if a man was to say there are no good women out here, then that's kind of eliminating me from the process. Like if I feel like I'm a good woman and you saying there are no good women out here, that means you don't think no one is out here. Why am I here then? I should just leave.
You know, a lot of people are picky too. They want a certain man. They want a man a certain height. Gotta look a certain way.
But that's outside of that, because I'm talking about when they saying there are no good men out here. That's like that all or nothing stuff we was talking about the other day. Like when you say never or always or all or nothing, like you can't say they're there. First off, if you live in one city and you date within that city, you have not been everywhere to say that all men are like that. Right. You have not been all over the country. It's not representative of 100% of the men in the country. Right. So you can't say that. Like it's like you said, it's the environment. You into that small environment, that neighborhood.
You only mess with men and more is black. What did you think gonna happen? Come on.
I was just about to say that. Like and living in Garden Valley, it is some people that live in Garden Valley that have never left Ohio.
Right.
Or if you're poor, you're never in an environment where there's people with money. All you're around is poor, broke dudes. So
you got to look at your own situation too. Talking about there's no good men. Are you a good woman?
Right.
Do they want you? So it's two sides to that story too.
Yeah, you can't be talking about there's no good men out here, and then you got 5 kids by 6 men.
And no job.
Like,
of course you ain't gonna find no.
You're not gonna find because they're not looking for you.
They know they don't want you.
or those people who's brain dead, the ones who you can't have conversation with because they don't talk. They just, you remember, like you get on the phone and you be like, hey, what's up? Nothing. So what you do today? Nothing.
Chilling.
You ain't do nothing all day today? No, I just sat on the couch. But what you watch? Nothing. But damn, is this something you want to talk about then? Because there got to be something you want to talk about. Something that you got to have a conversation with somebody. And so if you're not intelligent enough to even have a conversation, then they're not going to want to talk to you. No one's going to want to talk to you. Hell, I don't want to talk to you.
You just mess with Pookie and Ray Ray. That's all you know. Pookie and Ray Ray.
And they don't have to talk about nothing because they're going to spend a whole hour trying to get in your underwear.
And you don't even know their real name. You just know them as Pookie and Ray Ray.
We talked about that already.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And another thing too is that the whole kid situation. This is like a controversial topic with women, single baby mamas.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm about to break it down for y'all. This is my opinion, and whatever, you can take it how you want it. Eat it with some salt. Drink it with some dirt, whatever. This is my opinion. If you are a woman with multiple kids, if you out here taking care of your business, making decent money, take care of your business, got you a place, a car, ain't begging, asking people for money, you will get a man. Guaranteed. You will get a man, a good man.
Don't be like one of them women who go out on a date and ask the man, because this happened before. The man went out on a date and the woman started ordering some extra food like towards the end of the date, and he was like, what are you ordering this for? Like, she already ate her meal and she said, I'm ordering this for my kids.
Yeah, remember
she started ordering food for her kids and he actually paid for this shit. I wouldn't pay for none of that.
Yeah, I heard a story like that too. Yeah, girl go say he took her on the date and she talking about, what about my son at home? What about your son at home? He at home. Right. Why don't he have no food at home?
Right.
I'm taking you on a date, not you, not your kid.
That's horrible for a first date. I don't even know why women do stuff like that.
I don't even want to meet your kid yet.
Right.
Stop. I don't want to see your kid.
This ain't good. This is not the time. First off, I'm a true believer in a woman not having her kid around any man that she just met for the period of time. I mean, if it's a family friend or something like that, okay. But I'll start side-eyeing women who actually bring a man that they just met around their kids. Like, to me, if I was a single mother and I was out dating, they probably wouldn't meet my child for 6 months to a year.
Yeah, you gotta make sure it's serious.
I want it because I'm not about to have my kids thinking that I got men running in and out the house like that.
Right.
It's confusing to the child. And then, a lot of women that if they break up with these men in these short period of time, their kids get attached to them. You know what I mean? So it's just like, that's not the right thing to do, I don't think. That's my opinion on it.
Yeah.
But
we feel the same way on that.
Yeah. I think women need to, and this works both ways, but mostly women, because a lot of women are the ones who's making these complaints that there are no good men out here. Like, the women that say these things are the ones who are out here acting wild. Like, just in public, how they act in public, fighting all the time, always in some confrontation with people. Like, you can't even live at peace. Like, these are people who, if you went home with them, they would bring drama back to the house.
Drama. Ain't no real man on that drama shit. No, I don't know.
Like your friends being all drama, in your relationship.
Every time you come around, it's drama. Oh no.
It's a fight all the time.
We're not doing that. It's 2022. No more drama.
Yeah, right. They had there's one guy who was I talked to you about this before. Where the guy was hanging out with the girl, and then her ex-boyfriend came over there and did something to him.
Yeah, see,
fighting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, ain't nobody got time for that shit. No.
I mean, I'm not saying that she's responsible for his actions, but it's just like some unresolved issues that you might have when in your previous relationship need to be taken care of before you get into your new relationship.
Yeah.
So you're not involving that person into that type of drama.
There it is.
And even if you are far removed from that type of stuff, if you've broken up with the guy, you probably should talk. Especially if they're stalking you, you might want to tell your date or somebody, especially if they come into your house, that you had a crazy ex-boyfriend or something. So at least he can look out for himself.
Right.
I mean, don't have him get blindsided and he don't even know what's going on.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So, anything else you want to say about anything?
No.
Right.
No.
Well, like I always say at the end of our shows, if you have found this episode to be of any value, and if you learn anything new, consider subscribing to our channel. We appreciate continued support for our podcast. So like, join, subscribe, leave a comment. If you have any questions or any comments or feedback, leave a comment on the YouTube channel so we can have a discussion there about anything that we talked about today.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed. And we have the links to all of these stories at the bottom of our YouTube channel. All right.
Peace out.